We are recording. We should be live in a few seconds.
Yeah, there
Weird.
we are.
Yeah, we're live. Alright, cool. Shenanimegans, Season 8, Episode 8. What's up? Who
Yeah,
are we?
that's a good question. Who are we? Well, I'm Lastly.
And I'm Sasam. And if you've been watching for the past 8 seasons and 8 episodes, I'm sorry we
We're
didn't
sorry.
say that very often, so you probably actually didn't know that until now.
Mm, yeah,
There's a good chance you had no idea, and I'm so sorry.
that's okay. We'll get the hang of this podcast thing one day.
One day. Uh, Speaking of getting the hang of stuff, I have a new
Uh,
modem as of 2 hours ago. So here's hoping the internet is stable.
hopefully.
This wasn't even planned. We just got like a text message and it's like, we're sending you a new modem in the mail. It's a mandatory update. Send back the old one within 15 days for a $10 like reimbursement fee. I'm like, okay. Free new modem plus $10 if we send it back fast enough, sure.
Okay. It's weird, but sure.
The most amazing thing of it all, we
Mhm.
had to get it activated, meaning I had to call tech support.
Huh. Yeah.
It took me less than a minute to get a hold of the first person, who then transferred
Wow.
me to their IT, which it took less than a minute to get a hold of someone there, and it was
Mhm.
all figured out and done in like 5 to 10 minutes. It was
Oh,
the
wow.
best IT I've ever dealt with. It was amazing. I was like, oh, thank God. I expected to be on hold for like an hour, and this episode to not be happening. Potentially. I was really worried, but we're good. We're
Mhm.
here.
Yeah, all good.
So, that's how I've been lately. How have you been lately? What have you been up to?
Oh, I've been okay. I don't know. Not doing anything interesting. I was watching a friend play the new video game Left Alive, which is out today, and it seems like a real bad game.
I've never even heard
It's
that. Let me.
it's it's like what if Metal Gear Solid, but not Metal Gear Solid
Oh,
by Square Enix. It's apparently related to the Front Mission games.
it's Square Enix, and I've never even heard of it. That's weird. Usually they advertise their stuff. Oh, Firefox is lagging.
And for it at all, even though it's out today. They didn't send it anywhere to get it reviewed or anything. So yeah,
Interesting.
but yeah, it seems not great, which is unfortunate because I was kind of looking forward to it because it seemed like it could have been cool. Because
Yeah,
mechs are cool.
yeah. I feel really bad for anyone who saw that search history that came up. It's nothing bad. It was just a bunch of clothing, but it's all like
Nice.
undies. Oh no. That's
Oh
too
no.
lewd for Twitch or being taken down.
Oh yeah.
I should always open stuff in tabs off stream and just pull them on stream. I need to remember that.
Yeah. That's okay.
It's not like I search bad stuff that'll ever come up, but sometimes it's like, oh
Hmm.
no.
Oh no. Yeah.
I can tell you I didn't buy any of those. I
Hmm.
was
Oh,
just
okay.
scrolling through a clothing website, but uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if you're interested in that stuff. I'm sure there are podcasts for you that you can
Probably.
find. That would actually be a
Maybe.
cool
Don't you?
idea, like a podcast that's like, okay, we're gonna take this anime or
Hmm.
this like novel or something, and we're gonna hunt down and find the outfit this character has in this panel,
Huh.
and then do that, and then be like, all right, here's your options for how authentic you want it to look, how not how expensive it all is, and basically making like casual cosplays out of stuff you can
Hmm.
actually buy. That'd be such a cool
Yeah.
thing to do.
Yeah. I was gonna say, isn't it just a cosplay podcast?
Kind of, but like
Which
lots of
what?
cosplay you make your own. This is like
Yeah.
their casual wear and seeing if you
Hmm.
can find like those actual outfits in real life and how
Yeah.
much it would cost. Because I know people used to do that on Tumblr. They'd make like uh, outfits themed or based around characters, so it'd like follow their color schemes and some of their ideas and motifs, but
Hmm.
they weren't exact replicas of the characters or anything. So there's similar stuff you used to see around in fandom a lot that you don't really see anymore, which is It was always an interesting concept, I think, but
Yeah, that's cool. So,
we
yeah.
we can start a podcast where one half of it is that, and then the other half is drunken puppetry.
Yeah.
The puppets can be the hosts, and they can be the ones searching for the clothing.
Yeah.
It's genius. And then you
We'll
can get
just
little mini outfits for the puppets, and the puppets can wear it as well.
we're going to corner the market on this
Yeah.
incredibly niche segment of drunken puppetry fashion
I know
podcasting.
someone who can make ball joint doll clothing. This can
Yeah.
happen. It would just maybe be like one episode a year. That's a lot of editing and
Yeah, it's a
miniature
lot of work.
clothing to make, because we'd have to do the whole episode, do all the stuff, find the outfit, and
Yeah.
then we'd have to make the miniature outfits after we've already done all of that, then edit it in
Mm.
as a segment later. It would be so much work. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of work. Let's do a podcast about anime instead.
Yeah, let's just talk about anime. You're right. That's a
All
good
right.
idea. Set
Yeah.
our sights on something we can reach.
Mhm.
So,
So,
speaking of
yeah.
anime,
Speaking of anime, want to just get the one news story we have out of the way real quick?
Funimation,
Yeah.
they updated their tiers and what they're called, but they're not that much different than what they already are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what they were before, so.
Before they had like, what were the plans? It was like the family plan or something.
Mhm.
I forget what they're called. But yeah, if you're a premium subscriber, I think one of the tiers right now rolls into another tier but stays at the lower price. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. All current premium subscribers will automatically be grandfathered into the Premium Plus package at the $6 for Premium Plus. But you'll be able to keep the lower price as long as you keep your current membership, so you're saving about $2 a month off Premium Plus.
Mhm.
So yeah, if you're a current premium member, you'll keep paying for premium, but you'll get plus, which means you'll be able to simultaneously stream to 3 more devices. You'll have offline viewing, access to members-only events, early access to shop sales, free shipping on shop orders over $20, and access to member-only offers at the shop. The simultaneous streams is the big thing, because this is basically like the family plan.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
This
free.
is
You can watch
interesting.
subs and dubs for free, apparently.
Yeah.
Limited anime with video ads. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so $6 a month. That's kind of pricey for what they have. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
They have as much content as High Dive, and
Yeah.
High Dive is cheaper.
I feel like Funimation is like it doesn't have as much stuff, but it has a lot of the big shows.
That's
They
one of the
don't
issues.
have like they have like Dragon Ball and there's a lot of really popular things.
Crunchyroll still has the subs to a decent amount, but like all that stuff that
Mhm.
Crunchyroll lost when they left, that's all on Funimation. So if you want to watch,
Yeah.
rip.
Yeah. Ugh.
Just give it to High Dive. Do what Amazon did. Just let High Dive have it. Same with
Yeah.
Netflix. Netflix, just give all your stuff to High Dive, or at least let Sentai Filmworks release physical editions. You fucking cowards! I want to buy Little Witch Academia on Blu-ray so badly, and I can't.
Yeah.
Netflix are cowards. The only physical edition anime is the what's that studio called? The one that did Ajin, Knights of Sidonia,
Oh, that one.
that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, their stuff. Polygon Pictures, their stuff
Mhm.
has Sentai Filmworks releases, which I think they had before it went up on Netflix potentially. But I
Mhm.
don't. Oh, I don't know if Blam does though.
Oh.
But their older shows do. I think that's like the only stuff. Like, to my knowledge, Kakaguri doesn't have a Blu-ray. Children of the Whales doesn't have a Blu-ray release. Agretzko doesn't have a Blu-ray release, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
It's like these are some Netflix gets some of the top shows too. Like not a ton, but they do get some. But they somehow don't get Blu-rays. Meanwhile, it's like, well, Voltron got them.
Yeah.
Like, if Voltron's an original, like they're gonna give Dragon Prince and She-Ra probably, but why won't they give their anime? It's like, if people love this shit, make money off it. You like,
Yeah. It'd be nice.
where's the business fun?
I actually saw a Twitter thread about this a couple of days ago. People were saying like, yeah, Netflix just doesn't care about physical sales.
They
Like
really
they
don't.
just, yeah.
But they could
And it's,
at least like sell the physical rights to a different company
hmm
because they're making money doing absolutely nothing at that point, right? Like you're just selling the rights. You're making more money than holding on to them and doing nothing with them.
yeah.
So I don't get it. I don't get it. I guess
Mm.
all the companies that would want to publish it, like Sentai and Funimation, would probably want streaming rights for their own sites.
Yeah, probably.
Because most of it isn't dubbed, so they'd probably be like, we want to dub it and we want to be able to get the streaming rights for our dub, and they'd be like, no.
Yeah,
Because Netflix sucks.
probably. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's it for news this week. It's just Funimation being weird
Yeah,
and
they're
different.
basically just changing the names of their programs a bit,
Hmm
more or less.
Yeah, shuffling things around a little bit.
Firefox is not responding again. Why is it doing this?
Nice. Great.
That's not the
Fantastic.
modem, that's just,
Yeah.
I think I need to reinstall Firefox. It's weird.
Yeah. Great. Isn't technology great? It's just fantastic stuff. So, yeah. So we kind of what we've been watching this week.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
wanna do you wanna get started on that?
Sure, I'll
What have
talk
you
about
been?
what I've been watching
Yeah.
that's totally manga and anime related.
Yeah.
Um, Manga I actually did read a bit. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Last week was. We did Tuesday then too, right? 26th?
Sure. I think we. Yeah, we did. I
Yeah.
think.
Okay, 26, 26. So there's a new chapter of Goblin is very strong. That's translated. Still fun, still
Mm-hmm.
cute. Still Goblin killing her friends and being OP.
Yeah.
Good manga. We're not going to talk about that one chapter, you know the one. But other than that, it's really good. There was a new chapter translated of She, Her Camera and Seasons, Kanojo to Camera to Kanojo no Kisetsu, which is one I've talked about before, which I really like. It's a Yuri sort of. There's sort of a love triangle. The dude who likes one of the girls who likes the other girl is actually a
Mm.
really good boy, which is
Oh.
surprising. Most boys in anime, especially high school ones, aren't very good, but he's very very good. He's like she asks him out and he can tell she was just crying, she's upset. She clearly doesn't actually want to go out with him and he even says like nope. Even though he's been
Mm-hmm.
hitting on her and wants to go out with her, he's like nope. Something's
Oh.
off, something's wrong. That won't be right to you. That won't be right
That's
to take
good.
advantage of you. It's like, ah, oh, yes, this is a good boy.
Yeah.
He deserves someone. Maybe not the main characters because I'm all for the gay, but he deserves someone
Yeah.
in the end. Someone who'll be nice to him and treat him right.
Mm-hmm.
Let him be happy. But
Yeah.
yeah, so read that chapter, and then there's a new chapter, Bloom into You, that is translated.
Nice.
There's definitely ace representation in this series. I know a lot of
Yeah.
people go, "Oh, I'm not sure, is you really or not?" But it's like everyone forgets about Mackie.
Mm-hmm.
He is straight up ace, hands down.
Okay.
Is absolutely. I'm just saying that because I thought about that earlier because there's one of those things where I remember people are talking about like, "Oh yeah, this has ace representation," and then they were like, "Oh, maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it doesn't have arrow or ace representation." You like use like falling in love with her potentially, and I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, Mackie exists. Like, he's there, but
Hmm.
he doesn't play a huge role. But I always forget about him. And I just thought I'd point out that there is ace representation, even if it's not one of the main characters. It does
Hmm.
exist, and you can
Cool.
headcanon you as like Demi, so
Yeah.
or Gray,
Cool.
Arrow, Ace.
Cool.
I just want to state that because it's a good time to talk about representation. Because it's always a good time to
Yeah.
talk about representation. Let's be real here.
Yeah. Very
Never a
good.
bad time. After that, there was another chapter of Inugami-san to Nekoyama-san,
Hmm.
which is still really cute and really dumb.
Yeah.
They introduced a new character, and she is trash, and I like her a lot.
Of course.
She's,
Of course, I like the trash.
there's so much trash in this, but she's Aki's, like, senpai in the Kendo Club, and she's
Oh.
terrible.
Yeah.
And a little spoiler, actually, well,
Hmm.
spoiler, it's revealed that Inugami used to be, like, a kendo prodigy, but she
Yeah.
quit, and her reason for it was she had a realization that she preferred being beaten up by girls rather than beating them up.
Oh.
This shit's so
That's
gay. It's
that's
fantastic.
fantastic.
Oh,
I love it.
I love this series. It's it's so trashy but good. It's a good trashy. It's not like the we're all cheating on each other trashy. It's like the
Hmm.
we're all vaguely kinky but also not
Yeah.
way. Yeah, it's good. God, there's something else I was gonna talk about. All right, I've actually been reading a web comic lately.
Ooh.
Let me pull it up here. Is this the right one? Yeah. It's called Mage and Demon Queen. It's super
Yeah.
gay. It has a 9.8 star rating with 58 chapters, so that'll tell you something. It's been going on. An
Wow.
episode comes out every Tuesday and Thursday. It's been going on for a while. It's still at 9.8. It's a mage who has fallen in love with the demon queen that the adventures are supposed to defeat, and she just shows up at her tower constantly like, hey, hey, can we date? And the queen's just like, no, please go away. Please, please go away.
Oh. Oh.
The mage is, or the demon queen is, they're both very fantastic, and they're both complete disaster gays, and it's great.
Oh.
I enjoy
I
it.
love it.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's fun. I've been enjoying that. That's been fun.
Hmm.
I'd
Cool.
highly recommend checking out. It's free on Webtoon, which is where
Yeah.
it's officially posted.
Cool.
Uh, yeah, like 100% this is the official posting. But yeah, so
Mm.
the last thing I read was today, earlier, I read Volume 3 of Complex Age,
Yeah.
which is the one about 26-ish-year-old, yeah, 26-year-old cosplayer and dealing with what it's like trying to stay in fandom and trying
Mm.
to like support your the stuff you like at that age and how society views it specifically because of course it's manga how Japanese society views it and how they may
Hmm.
see it as weird and stuff. It's very very good. It's very heavy. It is about adults. It is an adult drama. It is seinen, but that's part of what makes it so good because it's not about kids, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, and I'm kind of around that age. You know, I'm 23. I'm
Hmm.
getting older, and
Yeah.
I've honestly only just really found my footing in fandom. I've been kind of around it forever. I've been doing stuff forever, but I never really got like deep in the fandom. I never went and started reaching out to random people to talk about stuff and like trying to share stuff as much. I did for a while at the beginning, and then that was back with Homestuck, and then Homestuck went wild.
Yeah.
I stuck to the edges after that, but shows like Ruby and stuff and Friends have pulled me deeper in. I've gotten into fan fiction and stuff, and it's been so much fun. But
Hmm.
I do sort of feel some of that pressure of being like an adult and growing up, and being kind of
Yeah.
older in the community, and I do kind of regret missing out on so much stuff I could have experienced younger that I think would have helped me a lot formatively. But it's
Hmm.
I don't know, it's like one of those series that makes me really nostalgic for like stuff I did younger, but it's also
Hmm.
like really relatable, both in good and painful ways. I'd highly recommend it. I have the last three volumes, so I'll be finishing it soon. I've had them
Hmm.
sitting around for forever. I bought the first two volumes, read them, loved them, bought the rest, and then never read them because it was just like one of those things where it's like it's so relatable. It kind of gets hard to read at times just because it's like you can see so much of yourself, and if you don't know where it's going, it can be a little uh, worrisome. And we are
Hmm.
dropping frames. The new modem
Oh.
has destroyed us.
Oh no.
No. Okay, we're back. We're back. I think
Oh, we're saved.
the new modem's out to get us.
Yeah.
Whew, whew.
Nothing can stop us though. We're
Speaking,
unstoppable.
yeah. I just want to give a little shout out. Geek in the chat has mentioned
Hmm.
some webtoons, Aerial Magic, and Always Human. I think I've heard of Aerial Magic, but I have
Hmm.
actually been reading some of Always Human. I'm pretty sure that's the one with the mods, I think, and the girl who can't use like appearance mods and stuff, and it's like sci-fi and future and cool.
Uh,
I think
oh,
that's the one, if I recognize it. I could be completely wrong, but yeah.
cool.
Webtoons are cool. They're a cool place to look at. It's hard to sift through them all to find the good stuff, but there is
Hmm.
some very good stuff on there. It's
Yeah.
best to, I guess, just find recommendations from people. You can find some cool
Yeah.
stuff. Uh, yeah, so Complex Age, read that. Uh, read Circe, which is a Western novel about Circe from Greek mythology. That was
Uh,
incredibly fascinating. It's a novel, like it's fiction, and it's taking the character from there and building a tale around them, especially around the parts where they're in between the different stories they show up in. But it's
hmm.
still like it was a very good read, though there was some oof parts
Yeah.
because Greek mythology. Let's be real here.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
That
be real,
is.
but I can see why it would win Fantasy of the Year for stuff. It's
Hmm.
Western, but it's still cool and it's still neat, and I thought I'd recommend it because well, it's an anime podcast, like to talk about stuff that's not anime, which is what I'm going to be talking about next because I have not watched any anime. But
All right.
uh, no, Sunday night I watched Justice League vs. the Teen Titans, the animated movie.
Hmm.
First off, the Justice League and the Teen Titans don't actually fight. It's
Oh.
false
What?
advertising. They sort of fight a tiny bit, but the Justice League's possessed by demons, so they're not really fighting between them. Like I'm
Oh.
expecting, uh, it kind of presents it as like some moral fight over something, and it's just like no, there's none of that in there. It's so
Weird.
weird. The whole movie comes across as a Damian Wayne and Raven fan fiction almost, because it's like a retelling of her like largest origin story thing where she fights like her father Trigon tries to use her as a portal or whatever. Except she's just used to push Damien being built or like his character development to be a team player. It's not good. All the female characters get shafted for growth for the male characters. And
Oh.
and nothing it nowhere is it more obvious than Raven literally her being like it's her major story, except it's only existing to further Damien as a character. She ends up back at square one after all of it. It's so bad.
Oh.
And then
Yeah.
they previewed Terra at the very end because they did Judas Contract movie, which I haven't watched yet because I've been scared, and
Oh
that
yeah.
just made me so much more scared. But like, here's the thing, right?
Hmm.
The reason they used Damien is they wanted like someone who could sort of relate to Raven, and they could be like, "Hey, look, both their
Hmm.
like upbringing sucked. She was raised by a demon. He was raised by fucking Ra Rosh Raish Al Ghul.
Hmm.
An assassin. It's like it was kind of abusive and bad and sucks. They
Mm-hmm.
relate. She healed him and they saw into each other's minds, so they both saw each other's paths and knew what it's like, so they can like relate off it. It's like it was so forced and bad because they don't actually really show you that. It's just kind of stated. And the number one way to fix that would have been forget fucking Damien. Do the Judas
Yeah.
contract first, let Tara live, and then you and the viewer who has seen Tara dealing with the fucked up Deathstroke stuff, once
Mm-hmm.
the Trigon stuff started happening in this movie, you could use Tara to then relate, and we'd all know that she can relate because we'd actually have fucking seen it ourselves in the previous Judas contract movie if they just did it first. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying that just as a Tara Raven shipper. It would have made so much more sense. Let's be real here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it would have had so much more depth and have shown so much more. And then you get to do the thing where it's not just character development for Damien, because Tara's character development would have mostly happened in Judas' contract already. So
Yeah.
it would not be so much her, but her trying to repay Raven after Judas' contract and like support her back, and you could use it mainly to push Raven.
Mm-hmm.
It's a much better idea than what they did. I'm gonna tell you right now. I got
Yeah.
ideas, DC. Hire me. No one's ever gonna hire me because I just shit talk them. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it.
Yeah. Maybe someday.
Yeah, maybe I'm not working to it or anything, but maybe one day I'll be hired to do a mini one shot where it's just like Judas contract done right. Deathstroke
Yeah.
has a stroke. The
Yeah.
end. Right at the beginning, everything's fine. I shouldn't
Yeah.
make a joke like that actually.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
been bad news a lot lately. It was because of his
It's-
name,
yeah.
but yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Justice League for Teen Titans.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't recommend it unless if you're a diehard fan, or if you
Yeah.
just want to actually see what I'm talking about, because it is literally a Damian Raven fan fiction. It is awkward and weird.
Oof.
There's one actually fantastic part in it though. When they're all
Oh
getting
yeah.
possessed by demons, Batman just fucking injects himself with a nerve toxin. He's like, "You want my fucking body? Come take it, you piece of shit. It's gonna be fucking useless." It's like a nerve toxin he made for Bane to
Wow.
counteract the Bane or the Venom or whatever the heck his juice is called. He just
Oh yeah.
injects himself right there and like has his like just starts twitching and falls over in the spawn. The demon just flies out like shit. What do I do with this? It's so it's so sudden that it made it really funny.
Yeah. That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah. And then he's just like passed out for the rest of the movie. He's just like done. He's basically killed himself almost.
Wow. Jeez.
It's like how to stop demon possession 101. Destroy all of your nerves.
Yeah. It's like how they can't possess your body if you don't have a body anymore. There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Can't
it's
be can't be
some
mind
galaxy
controlled if
brain
you don't
stuff.
have a mind.
Yeah. Oh boy. So yeah, I've been watching anything else then this week. Anything else you want to bring up?
Oh, that's about it. I have a ton of games I need to get to that I haven't yet.
Oh.
Bunch of manga I need to get to, which I've just started to with Complex Age. I got so much stuff. Oh, I got my anime box sets.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did.
Yeah, I haven't watched them yet because I watched that movie instead, and that was a mistake. But I will finish Princess Principal soon,
Yeah, nice.
and I've already watched the other two. So, but
Good.
I do also have the box set for Girls of That Story, so I'll be watching that very soon as well.
Ah, very good. Show's
The,
so good.
the only reason I didn't originally was because I was binging Young Justice, which I'm all cut off on what I can legally watch right now.
Yeah.
All two seasons. Season 3, the first half is out on the DC streaming site, but we don't have that in Canada. Unless
Oh.
apparently you somehow became a beta member or something. And their website just says, here, let me go to the DC Universe Experience. A first of its kind digital experience designed for DC fans. Sorry, this service is only available in the US. There you go.
Huh.
So,
Huh.
the first half of the season's up on there. We don't even
Yeah.
really know if it's coming to Netflix, but if it does, we're kind of expecting it to be like anime, where it won't come until after the second season, the second half of the
Oh.
season, which comes out in
Yeah.
like 6 months.
Oh.
So that's a long ass time to wait.
Yeah, it is.
I have lived the episodes vicariously through the Whelmed podcast, which, oh, that's actually something I've been listening to a bunch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There is a Young Justice fan podcast called the Young Justice Files, or the Whelmed TV podcast,
Yeah.
which is quite interesting. It's very, very good. This actually is anime adjacent a bit.
Yeah.
Uh, there we go. It's crashing. Yeah, so the Young Justice Files, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me get to their episodes, because they got some cool stuff. They talk about like the episodes and issues and stuff, but they get discussions with voice actors and actresses from the episodes. People who have done storyboarding for stuff, people who work on the music. So it's like for like professional people in the production industry, so you can actually find out some of this stuff, which is really cool. You can learn about how music's
Mm-hmm.
made and stuff, which, while not exactly the same, does lead over into anime, especially when it's voice actor and actresses who have done some of those works. There's a fantastic interview with Crispin Freeman, which I would
Mm-hmm.
highly recommend for anyone who's a fan of him. It is incredibly fascinating, and they specifically do talk about uh, he does stuff at conventions where he talks about the differences between Western and Eastern sort
Mm-hmm.
of stories told through anime, graphic novels, comics, and stuff, and the differences culturally and what leads to what, and is incredibly fascinating. Um, Such as where in Japan, we have stuff like magical girls and stuff, and like uh,
Yeah.
female heroes who have magic, but in the West, most traditional stories, female characters could not have magic because otherwise they're a witch and witches are bad, right? Like there's
Yeah.
stuff like Avatar specifically uses the term bending, and they're benders and not using magic because they didn't want the Christian community to come after them and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And like it talks about how these cultural influences play a part in it, right? Like, and near the end he starts just ranting about how disgusting Disney movies are, and it's fantastic. I would highly recommend listening to it. It's like over an hour and a half or something, but
Mm-hmm.
it is so fascinating. It is such a good listen. There's some spoilers to Young Justice season 1 and 2 in there because he plays like
Mm.
multiple characters on the show, but I'd highly recommend.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I would
cool.
highly recommend. It is super cool.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
then the other one, I'd also recommend their interview with Emily Buza, who has now become the co-host
Oh.
of the show. She talks a lot about fandom and different parts of fandom and shipping culture and stuff, and that's all super fascinating as well. And uh, she talks about it in a very, very interesting way. Like, she talks about the most interesting stuff that usually people won't talk about, and it's all incredibly, incredibly uh, well spoken and incredibly intelligent, and just another great interview. So, if you
Mm-hmm.
like stuff like that, like insider stuff in that, I'd recommend this podcast. Though it's mostly about Young Justice, so maybe watch that so you have a reference point. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's pretty much everything I've been watching and listening to
Cool.
and reading. What about you? What are you up to?
Yeah. Well, I finished up a bit of reading that I mentioned last week because I finished reading After Hours,
Ah, yes.
which that third volume is weird, huh?
Yeah, I told you. It feels
Oh.
like it was almost planned to have a fourth at first and then didn't,
Mm-hmm.
or they planned to,
Yeah.
like, they dragged it out for some reason. I don't know.
Something. Yeah, it was. That's so weird because like after the first two volumes, it's like, oh, they're gonna have this big rave, and then you're gonna resolve all this stuff with Emmy and her boyfriend, and Kay finding out about them, and then they do that really quickly in volume three, and then move on to other stuff. Like, wait, what? Why are you what?
Other
It's so
random
weird. Yeah,
issues that aren't completely resolved at the end. I feel like that
yeah,
makes it more realistic, but I don't know if it needed to be realistic or not. Like, that's the thing,
yeah,
right? Like, I
yeah.
get
Like,
why it possibly ended that way because it's about adults and how messy life can be, and it's
mhm,
just very realistic, but also it's like it doesn't lead to the most
like,
satisfying conclusion.
yeah, like since the first two volumes just weren't building towards that at all. Like in that third volume, it totally shifts to like putting the focus on Emmy becoming more of like an adult and being responsible and independent. And they had hinted at that as like a thing in the first two volumes of her.
But the
Like she
kids
felt very
stuff,
self-conscious, but it was like such a minor subplot thing. And then in the third volume, it just totally refocuses on that, and
the
it's
case
so
stuff
weird.
was just so wild. Yeah, though, like it's like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, she's ghosting you because her relative died, and she's forced to give up all her dreams to live, like,
yeah,
support the family. It's like, I guess that's really realistic, but that's fucked. And yeah, that's spoilers, but it's been out
that,
for a while now, so.
yeah. And that felt totally out of character for Kay for me, which like I mean,
Yeah,
hey, family dies, weird stuff can happen, but
and
also
they
like
never,
she doesn't seem like the person who would just ghost on people like that.
yeah,
It
and
was
they never
bizarre.
like built up to or like hinted at any of that kind of behavior, right? Like
Hmm.
it's like she's kind of like, you're avoiding your boyfriend, like that's kind of weird. You should talk to him or whatever. But then she does the same thing,
Yeah.
which is complicated.
And yeah, and like in one of the earlier volumes it was Kay was talking about like when she used to do DJing with people, and like, oh, eventually they all just kind of left. And it seems like she would be the kind of person who would like not do that to people and would just disappear, and then totally does. And
And she also
it's so
never
bizarre.
speaks of her family. She's all about being independent in a way. So the fact
Yeah.
that she's suddenly like, oh, I gotta take care of the family now because I guess.
Hmm.
It's like, why does that have to be you? It's like, well, normally it goes to her first son, but we don't have one, so it's me, the daughter. It's like, why doesn't it go to the wife or,
Mm.
like, the other adults? I mean, I guess you're an adult now, but you're still, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels like, yeah, we got, like, this whole family, like, aunts and uncles and stuff, but it's all pawned off on me. It's like, that's dumb. Like, that's,
Hmm.
I guess it's a cultural thing, so make, it might not be as weird in Japan. It might be super relatable that that kind of
Hmm.
stuff suddenly happens.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. It was just a bizarre third volume. It was. It made me want to like get a hold of the author and be like, "What happened? Like, did something happen in your life
you
that
can
you
find
suddenly
them on
changed the
Twitter.
story?" Yeah, but they're not going to answer to me.
Probably not. I mean,
Oh,
they've done artwork for a few people I know's music albums, so they're actually pretty open
mm,
to talking to people. But
yeah.
I think, and they also speak English, I believe, pretty well.
Mm,
But
yeah.
the with the length of the volume, I really do think they originally planned more
Hmm.
and then just didn't do more.
Yeah. It felt like they had like suddenly had this idea of like, oh, I want to get this stuff in this story, but then like, oh, I only have so much time and I need to rush through it in a weird way, and this volume's still going to end up being extra long, and so weird.
I felt more, it felt like they just like, because these chapters came out really slow. Like, I remember reading the first chapter almost 2 to 3 years ago.
Hmm.
Like, I can actually check my start date. Let me see here. My start date, 2016. It was literally 3 years almost to the day from when I
Yeah.
started reading it to when it finished. 3 years to get 3 volumes. That's a really slow pace. I'm not
Yeah.
sure, maybe if it was the production schedule based on any number of it, maybe like production company, Viz, the
Hmm.
author. I think somewhere along there, because of how slow it was going, I think the author decided they didn't like it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would blame them because it might be something on the like company side or
Mm.
that maybe possibly they got another shot to do something else, a new project that probably maybe fit them, or would bring in more money or would just work better for them and wouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
one volume a year.
Yeah.
And maybe they decided to go with that.
Maybe.
Or
I don't
something
know.
like that. Because, I mean, that's like a chapter a month, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Which, yeah, lots of manga do that, but I don't think. Because this, I believe, is their first published manga. It's
Oh,
possible
yeah.
that that's not what they had in mind or planned, and maybe because it took so long for the copies to come out, maybe it just wasn't making enough money for them to sustain off it.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? There's any number of things that could have happened,
Yeah.
but it does feel like something happened that
Yeah.
changed. I totally
Yeah.
get what you're saying when you say like
Mm-hmm.
what happened in their life, because it definitely feels like something did.
Yeah. Oh, what a weird thing. After Hours, it's mostly good.
Mostly good. It has a weird ass ending, but
Yeah.
it has
It's like
one of
just.
the best portrayals of adult Yuri as well.
Yeah.
So,
It does.
especially early on.
Yeah.
And it's got a very interesting look at music culture and nightlife thing. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they were wanting to get more into that stuff because again, I know they've made artwork for albums for like upcoming producers and musicians and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, clearly that nightlife part is something that they're intimate with and they care a lot about. So maybe they're
Yeah.
doing more stuff actually related to it. Maybe all of the manga talk about doing that stuff made them want to actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I just hope they're out there living their best life and following their dreams.
Yeah.
That's all you can ask from creators. Live your best
Mm-hmm.
life, follow your dreams, and
Yeah.
don't do Judas Contract again.
Oh God. Yeah.
Don't gay bait.
Uh,
uh,
so yeah.
don't fridge the wives.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's all the reading I've done this week. I did watch a couple of things.
Alright.
I caught up on watching Run with the Wind, the good distance running show, the good boys, the
Is
good
that,
running.
is that still ongoing?
Yeah, it's got a couple episodes left. I think there's 3 more to air.
Oh yeah, ends March 27th. Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a good show. Like I didn't get caught all the way up because I know the last couple episodes are their big competition. I want to be able to watch all those in one go. So still not totally caught up, but it's so good. Oh, they're so good. All those boys, I love them all so much. Such a fun show. Oh, it's like I was watching the episodes, I got caught up. It's like, man, I'm kind of bummed that I'm all caught up now because I don't have more to watch yet. That's unfortunate.
I get you. I feel you.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's a rough feeling.
Yeah. So yeah. Mm. And there's other stuff. I watched the new episode of Dororo today, and whoa, that is a rough episode emotionally.
Oh?
If you like seeing mothers sacrifice everything they have to
Oh.
take care of their children, it is. Whoa.
Oof.
There's a scene with some soup. It is intense.
Oh. Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Did she have the side ponytail?
No. This is a historical thing. I don't think they had invented the side ponytail yet.
Oh, well, I was wondering if they were the inventors of the side ponytail
Oh,
and
oh,
the
maybe.
the dead anime wife hairstyle as it later became
Mm,
coined.
yeah. No, she just has regular long hair. It's not really styled at all.
She just didn't tie it up is all. So
Hmm.
it's an untied dead
Yeah.
anime mom hairstyle.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, it was. Oh, it's an extremely good episode, but also rough. Yeah, it's maybe one of the best episodes yet. Very cool. That's a really good show. People should watch that show. It's good. So yeah, and then I don't know. There's other stuff I don't have much to say about, like Magical Girl Spec Ops Asuka. I'm still watching that, and that is my Murcielago, where it's trashy and not great, but I like it anyway.
That is not Murcielago. Murcielago is great and fantastic. It's trashy in ways where it's like, this is fucked up trashy. Like,
Yeah, exactly. It's
oh, I
yeah.
thought I thought you meant trashy in that it's bad.
I
No,
mean,
knowing what you said about it previously.
eh, there are aspects of Asuka that are bad, but
Okay,
not
okay, I
like
gotcha.
overall. Yeah, its main problem is that it's like trying to deal with these really big topics and really heavy things
Mhm.
and not doing it super well. It's like this isn't the worst, but there's a lot of room for improvement. They started talking about child soldiers in Africa, and it's like you're out of your depth here.
Oh, yeah. Wait.
Yeah,
They're magical girl soldiers, aren't they? Kind of child
yeah,
soldiers, or were they?
uh, yeah, yeah. They are.
Uh,
Yeah. It's real weird. This with the evil magical girls. They went to Africa and found a child soldier who was dying and gave him a suit of armor that's magical, and it let him survive. So it's real weird.
okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of child soldiers, children of the whales. No, okay, wait.
Yeah.
Alright, so.
Mm, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. The only other thing I have any thoughts about is I watched a couple more episodes of Revolutionary Girl Utena. What is that show called? Yeah,
Yeah.
Utena. Why can't I think of the yeah Revolutionary Girl Utena? Why did I think that was wrong? But yeah. So I'm in the middle of the second arc, which is called the Black Rose arc, and it is such a chore to watch
Ooh.
because it is majority of the episodes have been like introduce a brand new character and then explain what's wrong in their life, and then they lose a duel to Utena. And most of the characters that were in the first arc are like barely in the show anymore.
Yeah.
Like Utena exists basically just to have duels with people and beat them up,
Hmm.
and there's just like no larger plot stuff moving. It's so dull and it's repetitive and it's a drag. But I think I'm almost done with it. I think I only have two or three more. So,
It's the filler arc.
oh, it literally is. Oh, it's. I'm gonna get through it. I need to. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of the last thing I have any thoughts on. I don't know. Magnificent Kotobuki is good. Promise Neverland is good. Genlock is good.
Oh,
But I
well,
don't have anything else to say about those.
you
Yeah.
tweeted something about Pain from Final Fantasy X-2 being in
Oh,
Magnificent Kotobuki.
yeah. In the preview for the next episode, there's a character that I had to pause. Like, wait, that looks like Pain, because she's just got like silver hair and a faux hawk and pierced ears and just I don't know, looks kind of like Pain.
It'd be hilarious if it was. Imagine
Yeah.
calling that. Imagine being able to call that.
Oh, that would be incredible. I would be like, one, how did you get Pain for this anime?
This is why
And two, why?
when you have crazy theories, you have to say them,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like, I was almost right with that one, Hokago no Pleiades theory.
That's right, you were
Almost.
close.
I might still be right with the sister being in Aka,
Yeah,
being
you might be.
hard involved. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, I mean, we can get to that now. I don't have
And
anything else to talk about, really. Yeah.
okay, I was gonna say my one other
Oh yeah.
crazy theory is the most crazy theory. Alright, do you want to hear the Young Justice theory
Oh,
that will
hit me
blow
with
your
it.
mind?
Hit me with it.
Okay, so I haven't
I,
seen the first half of season 3 yet. I need to
mm-hmm.
disclaimer this. I've only heard what happens in podcasts. But Cyborg shows up. Beast Boy showed up in season 2, technically in season 1,
Mm-hmm.
and Dick Grayson, the Robin who is the Teen Titans Robin, is there.
Yeah.
Tara Markov shows up. They're
Okay.
Judas contracting it, but they make it really obvious she is texting Deathstroke, but they also don't actually confirm it. There's no names, there's no actual confirmation. They show her texting someone, and they show Deathstroke getting a text with no names or anything, and
Mm-hmm.
it feels like a red herring. And my theory, which this is gonna blow everyone's mind. So, you know how Teen Titans is getting a new show or movie or something, right? They announced at the end of the Teen Titans Go movie.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, okay. So that's happening. So, the theory is Tar Markov in Young Justice is actually the Tar Markov from Teen Titans. Cause,
Hmm.
hear me out. End of season 2, Tara Markov, they do the Judas contract. She freezes herself in stone, saves everyone. Season 4, they do they do the Justice League versus Teen Titans thing just without the Justice League, and it's the Trigon story for Raven, where interdimensional space Satan comes through, fucks stuff up. There's dimensions, time rifts, everything goes crazy. They save the day. It's all good. But the statue Terra turned into disappears. She
Hmm.
appears later as a regular girl with no memory of what happens. During all that interdimensional fuckery, she got sent to the Young Justice universe and got swapped with the one there, and that's why she has no fucking idea what any memory is. So, the one in Young Justice is trying to get back to her own timeline, and they're going to do a crossover event for the big thing to bring back Teen Titans, because they're going to be like, we have too many Judas contracts, we have too many Teen Titans teams right now, we're making one. Well, we have the movies, we have the show, we have the live action show, we have Teen Titans Go, and we're going to have in Young Justice. So, to separate some of them, they're in two separate universes, and we are going to clarify that with this movie. And then, they do all that, they do that interdimensional fuckery, they bring back Wally from the Speed Force, all that stuff. At the end of it, once they get back to their own universes, this is the most important part, right?
Hmm.
This is the genius level intellect here, the galaxy mind. In season 2, there is a Flash that comes from the future, and Garfield asks him when does he get his own sitcom, and he says that would be spoilers. I can't tell you.
Hmm.
After meeting the Teen Titans from the other world, they form the Teen Titans in their own world.
Yeah.
Beast Boy is inspired to make a sitcom based off them. That sitcom is
Hmm.
Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
And that's how they all fit. It's absurd. It's nonsense. It's not real. It's not true. It'll never fucking happen. But if it does, I'm a
Yeah.
genius.
Something like that. Yeah.
DC, hire me, seriously. I got ideas. I got ideas.
Yeah.
And you
It's
can
good
tell what I've been
stuff.
obsessing about lately. And it's not
Yeah.
anime. It's good fun
Well,
though.
that's okay.
But
Yeah.
alright, so Children of the Whales or Akka? Which do we want to go with first?
Let's go with Aka since we mentioned it already.
Oh,
Started. Yeah.
so
This
Akka.
episode had
Ooh,
the worst assassins ever.
yeah, we're just gonna kidnap them. Yeah, so I actually think that whole assassination thing was really interesting and was really cool.
Hmm.
He goes and talks to Princess, and the guards are all like, "Oh, they're moving. That's suspicious. Why would he talk to them? What did he tell them they're moving?" Because the guards know about the other, like, they're the
Mm.
royal guards who protect the royal family. They know about Otis and them,
Hmm.
and they see the first princess's people moving because he talked to them, and they're like, "Shit, that's not. Ooh, ooh," and he basically commands them, "You are not going to talk to what's his name,
Hmm.
because what's his name would give them away. And you're
Yeah.
going to wait. We're just going to wait. We'll see what happens. All I did was talk to him. It's not my fault if anything happens." He's essentially, after being interested in them, put, which Maggie thought was romantically at first,
Hmm.
in theory, put himself in a position where if they die, it's not his fault, but it technically is. It's definitely his fault. He's like
Yeah.
trying to kill off the competition, and it's like, that's. Ooh. Oof. But
Mm.
Maggie, who has been promised to help him and support him and protect him this whole time, and has been doing so, betrays him.
Hmm.
He calls his sandwich friend and warns him.
Yeah. His
And
bread buddy.
that's strange and suspicious. Because
Yeah.
there's no reason for him to do that when it's the prince he works directly for. Which leads me to believe Maggie is deeply involved in this. So, like, the guards are in general, but specifically Maggie, and specifically with his uh, situation with Lot, whatever
Mm.
her name is, I forget. Lotta, right?
Lotta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he's technically doubling as a guard for her and working for her, and she's the one pushing the coup. Still, I'm still gonna stand on that.
Hmm.
because he is the one who made contact with the police officer, right?
Yes.
Yes, and I think he specifically did that knowing he was interested in her, so he could build up someone who he could use for a situation like this. And I think
Hmm.
Lotta knew it and played out the whole way. And Lotta is basically hinting, like, "Oh yeah, I know Maggie," but also going like, "Hey, don't talk to anyone about this. Don't tell anyone." Like she's playing dumb about knowing it
Yeah.
because it's just a bit too forced the way she's like, "Huh." And I think the other person incredibly involved who's also working almost directly for her is the Inspection Bureau's chief. Because they keep having outings we don't actually see what happens during, and then he happens to
Oh
show up
yeah.
at just the right time to stop the kidnapping,
Hmm.
and doesn't really question it too much. I
Yeah.
think those two are working for her very, very closely,
Hmm.
and I think she is still the one. Which, she's probably not at this point because they're making it look like she's the one. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, they're actually making it look like she's not. They're probably trying to say this episode she's not because there's only 3 episodes left, so there's not much room for another twist to come in and be like, she is! Because the
Yeah.
twist at this end of the episode would say she's not. Like, we know
Hmm.
who's actually pushing the coup, sort of, but I
Yeah.
also don't think so, because, okay, end of the episode, Lilium has been pulling the strings the whole time, tricking Grossular. I didn't see that coming. That's a good twist.
Yeah. It's good.
Grossular's been working almost entirely for him, but I can't figure out a single fucking benefit Lilium would get from this.
Mm.
Besides Akka staying in power, I like there doesn't seem to be any bigger motive, and that's weird. That makes me think it's not completely right because we also don't
Yeah.
know who what's his name with uh blue-haired
Mm.
guy spy
Nino.
Nino. Yeah, we don't know who he's working for because he talks to someone right after leaving Grosser and was like, can't talk to it. If he was working for Lilium, he would probably just be fine talking in front of Grossular because he'd probably know, right?
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
if he's doubling for them both. And there's the point where he leaves Lotta's house and is like, oh, I have her presents I'm bringing. I think he's
Hmm.
been working with the inspection chief or Maggie, one of them. I think that's his real, like, upper contact. So I think
Yeah.
there's the Lilium group, which may be being used by another group, or maybe they have some other weird reason. And then I think there is Lotus faction as well, also in there. Whether they're trying to prop Otis up to take over or not is yet to be determined. But
Hmm.
I do think they have like their own little group that's very much involved. Maybe
Hmm.
Lotta's not actually the mastermind, but I do think those characters are some sort of group around her of some sort
Yeah.
that have some interesting connection there, because their connections around her don't seem to make sense unless if they're connected more so, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Um, it's hard to say who is the actual mastermind here. If it's, I think at this point it's just a ton of different groups all working at the same time for their own gain,
Yeah.
which is why Lilium's makes no sense because I can't figure out his gain from it, and
Mm.
that makes me suspicious that he's working for someone else,
Interesting.
possibly the king's chief guard person,
Oh yeah,
who
that
might
guy.
potentially give him that job once he takes over.
Hmm.
We don't know. And then it's also weird they haven't showed Mauve too much lately, despite her supposedly
Yeah.
being a big player. They talk about trying to talk her into silence for their thing, and they're like, it probably won't work.
Hmm.
And that's gonna be interesting
Yeah.
because there's a chance if it's the inspection chief that's leading like Lotta's party group, I think Mauve would be directly involved in that somehow.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's a nice mix of very weird, different groups, all with their own differing plans. Though we haven't seen all the groups yet, and there's 3 episodes left, so it's hard to say where it'll go. Um,
Hmm.
I love that the police officer is like, "Oh man, I'm gonna owe my friend so much sandwich bread."
Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah,
very good.
another reason I'm pretty sure there's a group supporting a lot surrounding her. The cafe owner also happened to just show up and give her a safe place for a while.
Hmm.
That's suspicious as fuck as well.
Yeah.
And weird. He was definitely told to by someone else. And
Hmm.
that's where I think Mauve would be involved in part of it as well, because she goes there a lot as well to that sandwich store.
Oh yeah.
So I think she's probably left lines there with them, possibly.
Hmm.
Anything that I guess, if it's what is actually happening, I'd almost be disappointed if it'd actually be correct, because it's done such a good job at being not super obvious about stuff, except for, of course, them being royalty suddenly becomes
Yeah.
obvious. They do a good job of making that slowly, like making it so you can guess it yourself, like an episode before they say it, or the episode that they say it halfway through.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the aspects I really like about this show is they just do such a good job of like pacing out the information, and they never do the obvious thing, but then when they reveal that new information, you're like, oh, this makes total
and
sense.
then when
It's
they do the
so
obvious
good.
thing, it's like you don't trust it almost.
Yeah.
Which is again this whole thing with Lilium. I don't trust it because it's too obvious, it's too forced, it's too weird. And I think Grossular is potentially double playing Lilium as well, because I'm pretty sure he's still Abend.
Hmm.
I'm pretty certain of that still.
Yeah.
What if
I
the cafe owner, he had blue hair? What if that is Nino's dad? No, it's not.
oh.
That'd be
Yeah.
such a twist. That'd be like
That would
way toward the top. It's like blue
oh, that'd
hair.
be
No, he
so
died
weird.
on the train with the
Yeah.
others. I think it was interesting that the group that the supposed sinking happened in, which they
Hmm.
know didn't actually happen. They're like, because of that, we couldn't do anything about the train. Like, don't blame us, because they're trying to be on his good side if he becomes king.
Hmm.
It's like, ooh, interesting.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very excited to see next week's episode.
Yes.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, it'll be
All
a
right.
kind of an intro dump, but a very important one.
Oh,
If it's the one I'm thinking of, I'm not sure.
I feel like there's room for one more twist, but it probably has to come within the next two episodes. At the end of the at the end of the second last episode, or the very beginning of the last episode, I think.
Hmm. Yeah.
So it's time for them to resolve it all, because this feels like a show that's not gonna have some big twist and then kind of give like a fast resolve that's like a holy shit what the fuck ending. It'll be more of a in-depth resolution, I think, where because it does a lot of that info dumping stuff and like building of the world. I think there would be a decent section of world building near the end about what
Hmm.
happens in the end. So I think, yeah,
Yeah.
the time for a final minute twist is coming to an end, and it might be the Lilium one, but it doesn't. That doesn't seem to go anywhere to me
Yeah.
without a few more things coming into place. So I think there is a bit more that has to be revealed in the next episode and a half.
Hmm. Well, we will see. We'll see next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I guess this all right from like episode 4 or 5 when I started saying she was the one, I'm the
Yeah.
greatest detective in the world. You can call me Batman.
Yeah. Okay, Batman. Well, we'll find out next
Don't
week.
confirm I'm right. No.
I actually don't remember if you're right. I don't remember much about the end of the show.
Well, let's just click and see spoilers. No.
All right.
I
We'll
really
just.
want to pick up the manga now that the last volume's
Yeah.
out. As soon as this is
Oh
done,
yeah.
because that's like, what, 3 weeks? Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be,
3 weeks.
I'll have another paycheck by then. I'm probably just going to buy all 6 volumes, like, straight up.
Oh, nice. I've this rewatching this has kind of made me want to pick up the manga as well.
I'll have
It's
had
very
two
tempting.
paychecks. There's so many other series I need to finish my collections of, but I might just buy it straight out because it's so good.
Yeah.
I want to read the manga and see just what types of the way it shows its information in that medium
Mhm.
versus how we see it in the anime.
Yeah. That would be super interesting. Yeah. You have any final thoughts on Aka this week? Is that all?
I just realized there's two different directors.
Oh.
Interesting.
Huh.
Oh, one of them's a 3D director. There's
Oh.
3D in this? Huh.
Okay.
Oh, actually,
I.
no. Yeah, I think the cop's face was weird in this episode compared to any others. His face and his hair, I think they made it with 3D.
Mm, oh.
I think they just used it in some to make it cheaper. I don't know. Maybe there'll
Huh.
be a ton of 3D at the end.
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing is really like sticking out. There's no like bears or PS2 fire or anything.
That means it's doing a good job. It's just being used
Yeah.
to accent other stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I know this director, his name though. Oh, they're directing
Mm.
Boogie Pop this season.
Oh,
So
that show.
that explains why that one's twisty and turny and weird as fuck as well. Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
Boogie Pop always was. It's always been
Hmm.
out of order, but that makes a lot of sense as to why he would direct that after this. He
Yeah.
directed One Punch Man. Okay, that's probably where I heard it from. And some other stuff. I'm just curious what this. Oh,
Yeah.
he directed some Space Dandy stuff.
Oh.
First episode last. Directed some season 2 stuff. Cause yeah, aren't there like a different director for every episode of that show or something?
Maybe that sounds right. I don't know.
Yeah. He seems like a pretty new full-time like full series director.
Yeah.
This Boogie Pop Horizon to Miyamura-san, which looks like some short OVA, yeah. Some
Mm.
OVA from 2012 to 2018. Huh.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Weird.
it's a web manga adaptation.
Huh.
But yeah, that and One Punch Man. So he's only really directed 3 full series.
Hmm.
This was his second, and he did a fantastic job at it. So
Yeah.
bravo
It's
there.
very good. Yeah.
I kind of want to watch Boogie Pop knowing he's directing it.
Mm. I don't know. I've heard the most recent stuff in Boogie Pop has been pretty good, but I will say it's a weird start.
Yeah,
It's a
well,
very
everything
strange
is out
show.
of time. Everything.
Yeah.
It's 18 episodes. Builds up a lot of time, like
Mm.
outside. It's weird. There's apparently they also did the thing where they have a bunch of different episode directors.
Yeah.
So he directed the first episode and overall the whole series, and then they had different people directing like each episode.
Yeah.
Which that's probably going to be confusing.
Hmm.
Or sections of episodes. They probably have a different director for each light novel they adapted into whichever order. I don't know.
Yeah. That would kind of make sense if you're gonna have multiple directors for this
Yeah.
show.
I'm
It's
pretty
like,
sure
yeah, these.
I'm pretty sure the
Yeah.
light novel's out of order too, so I think the anime's following that.
Hmm.
And the original series I think was like that too.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back and watch that show when it's done. Maybe it'll be more entertaining
I
then.
wonder if it'd be better or worse to watch the original Madhouse 2000 series first or second. Because
I
apparently it's
wonder.
very, very different, I believe.
Hmm.
Who knows?
No idea. Maybe someday we'll find out.
Alright. Well, if we're
Yeah.
ready for Children of the Whales, which
Yeah.
I caught up now. This is
Yeah.
just what you were talking about last week
Hmm.
with the dance again.
Yeah.
I think if they were gonna cut one of the dances, they should have cut the first one, because this one at least had some interesting stuff, like all the weird hand imagery and stuff.
Hmm.
There's some weird, cool. There's a lot of cool visual stuff in that episode, but it was just
Yeah.
a lot of filler visual stuff, and I don't
Yeah.
remember the hands in the manga. I didn't pull out
Yeah.
to check because I'm lazy, but I don't
Yeah.
remember those hands in there. I think they were all filler hands, but
Mm.
yeah, it's
That's
weird.
weird.
Because I also don't think like Lionheart's memories are shown to Suo. I
Hmm.
think I think it's him just remembering them, and Suo's just like without even seeing them, some blind believer in the good in people,
Uh,
which
huh.
changes that scene a lot. If I remember right, I'm
Yeah.
probably remembering wrong.
Mm.
But yeah, they changed a lot of stuff in this series. That's really weird. This series,
Hmm.
some of the times the animation's weird, but it has some really amazing, gorgeously animated scenes
Yeah.
that are like so incredible. But then just miss the beats on the story, and it hurts me so much because it's like this could have been something amazing
Mm-hmm.
if they maybe just had a better director, or maybe they needed more manga to work with. Maybe they started too soon. Maybe there wasn't a good organic end period at 12 episodes. So they had to pull stuff out,
Mm-hmm.
drag it out. I don't know, but
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. The manga's better. Oh, that's all I can say.
Yeah. This show has made me kind of want to watch or read the manga, but I don't know. It's also kind of not because like now I know everything. I know a lot of the spoilers of what's gonna happen, so it's like, oh, I wonder.
The manga goes past that though.
Yeah, true.
And I think the manga does a lot better at building people's like personalities and
Yeah.
character to make them likable. Goes a
The,
lot more in depth into lots of the stuff that goes on in the war and like the tactics and stuff. And there's
hmm
a lot more world building. There's cool stuff at the end of every manga is like a page or two that are like written as if they're part of Chakro's diaries, because
Oh,
he's
that's
like the
cool.
one who chronologues everything. So there's like tons of world building just at the end of each volume that's really interesting and cool.
hmm
Which they probably that might have been one of the reasons the show is so slow, is they didn't have a space to just be able to info dump that.
Yeah,
So maybe that's why. Who knows?
maybe.
But yeah, then this week's episode.
Yeah, this week's episode.
Tell me your thoughts.
Oh God, what a mess! This show, just overall, it's a mess. This episode is a mess. I don't know
Ooh, it's so much better in the
because
manga.
yeah, it's like this. The opening scene was so weird. Of like, oh, here's this dude who I think has been in the show once or twice before. He's just looking to get killed, and someone else saves him. And they pry off that soldier's mask, like, it's a kid. Oh no! I'm like, okay.
Child soldiers.
Yeah, it's. I was kind of hoping, like when they started to pry off the mask, I'm like, oh, I hope it's like a clone. It's a clone of someone who's on the whale, and this just gets real wild. And it wasn't. Like, oh, would have been fun.
I've got a theory for what these soldiers are based off of we can get to later that's really dark,
Yeah.
but
Is, is it ICP? They're based off ICP. That's what it
no,
is.
no, they're based off. So near the end of World War II,
Mm-hmm.
do I need to go on? What with Germany in dire straits and their army losing, they had a ton of children who, because
uh,
that war had been going on for like 8 years,
yeah,
right? So they pulled a
yeah,
bunch of 13-year-olds and sent them off to war. They had spent 2/3 of their life listening to Nazi propaganda. 8 years plus, because
yeah.
technically they were rising to power before. They were basically brainwashed children who went off to fight with no fear, believing they
Yeah.
reminded me a lot of that, and the
Oh
whole
yeah.
like emotionless like soldier thing reminds me a lot of that. And I wouldn't be surprised
hmm
if it's partly based off that.
Yeah.
Like if they were inspired a bit by those stories you hear about that,
Yeah. Probably. That seems to
because
fit really well. Yeah.
it's too sort of mechanical, and it's even the Empire and stuff that's like coming to like
Yeah.
prosecute a minority group, right? That they've like set off on this
hmm
island trapped by itself. Like
Yeah.
it has a lot of similarities to it.
Yeah. And also they're clowns.
Yeah, the fucking clown. The
Yeah.
juggalos, they're
Oh
coming for
God.
us.
hmm But yeah.
Well,
Then
welcome to the dark carnival.
God. Yeah. Then up next is the scene with Oni going Super Saiyan and then almost dying and somehow not running out of blood. That poor boy.
That poor boy.
Yeah.
All of his
And
friends
that
keep dying.
yeah. And I bet that scene of his friend dying would have been real sad if they made me care about that character at all. It's like when they introduced him in what the previous episode, or maybe the one before that. It's like, oh, they're introducing him purely so that they can kill him, and yep, they sure did. So yeah,
Honestly, I don't know if his death is supposed to be sad to us.
I
Like,
mean,
it's sad to him, and we're shown why
Yeah.
it's sad to him, and it's made very clear that it's sad to him. But I don't
Hmm.
even think in the manga they try to make it sad to us, and I think that might be intentional.
Hmm.
Like I I feel like he's a tool for the expansion and growth of this character, but he's not actually supposed to be something for the viewer to be attached to. Like we're not supposed to be watching him getting sad. We're supposed to be watching through his friend's eyes. And the
Hmm.
part that's supposed to make us sad, I think, is more his friend who has never had emotions, him dealing with this loss. It's like almost like watching as a bystander, as someone else you sort of know is watching
Hmm.
their best friend dying.
Yeah.
And that is a very weird and different way to view it, and I feel like it's almost intentional, but I can't be
Mm.
certain, but it feels like it
Um,
might be.
I don't know. With with how
It's not
poor a job this
necessarily a
show.
good thing or a bad thing. I just think that might be the intentions behind it.
Yeah. And I just think with how poor a job the show has done of making me feel attached to any of these characters at all, I
Well,
just think like when they have a scene like this that is clearly supposed to be emotional and then there's just zero impact on me, it's like,
this is
I don't,
supposed to
I don't,
make us emotional about one boy, not the boy who died, but the other boy who
yeah,
was supposed to be used, so we feel bad about what's his name? I'm currently forgetting.
Oni, Oni,
Yeah, this is supposed to be what like makes us feel emotional
hmm,
and connect to Oni, not to
yeah,
Nibi. Who cares about Nibi? But I think
yeah,
that might be it. I could be completely wrong and just misinterpreting this, but that's just how I kind of felt.
hmm, yeah. I mean, I think you're right. It's like they introduced Nibby purely to have an arc for Oni. Like, but yeah, it's I don't know. And then that part of the episode just rolled right into more weird visions. And Chakra meeting Olivinus, the weird noose lady who gives him a show for no reason.
It's become
Oh God,
Evangelion.
it's just oh
Actually loved this section. I thought it was really
yeah.
interesting. Yeah. Well, first off,
It's interesting.
the visuals in this episode are so cool.
I guess.
Like when she cuts open and all the hands made of like water and sea and fish come flying out and then
Hmm.
start growing everywhere was cool, and then the boat in the sand and just the colors and stuff they use I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
The symbolism. That stuff I thought was all super cool.
Hmm.
Visually.
Yeah. The show it hits on strong visuals from time to time. Yeah.
But I really liked so they're talking to Olivinus, right?
Yeah.
Did you take anything away from that? Anything important
I
besides
mean,
giving the shell?
there's the whole main thing that the chakra was talking about is how the painful memories are just as important as the happy memories, and so that's why you can't live
This
here in Olivinus's happy memory land or whatever.
this is where I think it's really important, right? So
Hmm.
Olivinus says, "I'll give this to you if you give me like the
All
pain
your
of
people's
everyone,
emotions.
all
Yeah.
of their pain." They specifically say one pain, like the pain. They
Yeah.
specifically say that one emotion. And they're like,
Oh,
I can
okay.
take that away and make you live in a happy world. They would still feel joy and happiness. And I
Hmm.
think that confirms that each one takes away different emotions. They don't take them all away.
Yeah.
And that goes back to Lion Tari, where they mention in his flashback at one point making a pilgrimage to see the different, like a specific one of these creatures. I'm currently forgetting the name, the noose.
Hmm.
I think they need all the Noose together to get rid of all their emotions, and with them killing Noose, emotions are gonna start flowing back into this kingdom and empire because they won't be able to feed them off anymore.
Hmm.
And I think that could be super interesting. It's like the
Yeah.
implications of that one line I think are so interesting.
Hmm.
And then I like how it's just like, oh, you won't do it anyways? Well, fucking take it. I'm
Yeah.
dead. Like, I guess I'm just gonna watch. May as well be
Yeah.
interested. You
That
took the
was
one from that other island that was destroyed. They mention that too. You already have the one from Lycos. They mention they have one from Lycos.
Mm.
So the party that went over to Lycos picked one up, something up from there.
Mm.
That is what they are giving with this shell.
Yeah, because they said like, oh, here's this thing and it has a name and I don't remember what it was, but they're like, oh, take it to Flynus, then get to the next stage.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
You already have the one from here. You'll be able to reach the next stage with the second.
Hmm. And and this show really likes to introduce important things and then explain absolutely nothing about
Yeah,
them or
yeah.
why it is important. Like, okay.
It's the Dragon Balls. You must collect each noose's ball and then
Oh,
feed them to the noose and it becomes all powerful. No, I don't know.
wow,
That would be weird.
that would be. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I don't have much more about this episode.
I
It's
felt like
just,
I
yeah,
had more to say and I've read the manga past year,
yeah.
but I didn't remember that scene at all. And when I got that line about like
Mm,
I can take your pain and make everything happy, like
mm-hmm,
oh, I got so jazzed about that. Because
mm,
all the theories about like what might be happening back in the Empire and the fact that not everyone has all of their emotions stolen because probably all the nooses together don't steal them all and that's why they probably still have some feelings. Like they seem
yeah.
to be able to get frustrated still and like look down on people and stuff.
Mm-hmm,
It all works out. And then, oh yeah, the last interesting thing, which is the other part that made me feel like kind of
mm-hmm.
like the whole Nazi children thing, when their island's destroyed and they realize they're trapped there and are going to become
Oh,
like the
yeah.
people with emotions, they all just start walking off into the sand. Like they would
Mm-hmm,
rather die than live like the people with emotions.
yeah.
And I think that says a lot about like what they've been conditioned to believe. Like they're not supposed to be able to have fear, but I
Mm-hmm,
can't see why they would go, "Oh, it's logical to just kill myself now because our like ship sunk." That doesn't
yeah.
seem like a purely logical choice. That
Mm-hmm,
feels like there's something else potentially driving it, like fear or something.
yeah. Mm. That was a real weird scene.
Yeah, no, it was fucking strange.
Yeah.
It's like your job
Yeah.
is to kill them all. Why don't you just keep trying to do that until you die? Because you still die, but do your job as well. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a strange thing. I don't know. I'll have to see what's up in next week's episode then. Well,
You have no idea where the fuck they plan to end this show. I actually
yeah.
don't. Oh, actually, I
Weird.
think I might. I think
Mm.
it ends right where I am in the manga. Like,
Oh.
exactly. Possibly.
Yeah. With how slow most of this episode and the last episode had been, I thought it was going to be the end of this fight would be the end of the show, but that can't be because
There's
they
three
just
more
sunk the boat.
episodes.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see where it goes. The
Yeah.
only thing I can think of is now is that they're gonna like find a way to sail to some other country, some other nation or whatever. Because they talked about how there's other nations that might want them for some reason. So I can only imagine that's what they're gonna do, but I don't know.
Oh,
We'll see.
oh, there's
Yeah.
something I meant to mention from not this episode, last one I watched and forgot about.
Oh, okay.
Or is it this one?
Mm. I don't know.
When
Hit
they
me.
have them surrounded and stuff. Oh no, yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's this one where he's screaming about like, ha, like you don't. I don't fucking remember. He's like, you guys don't even deserve to exist. You don't even know why your lives are so short.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see Lycos, like jerk.
Yeah. Mm.
Ah, that
Yeah.
I think that we'll probably find out.
Yeah.
I'm expecting to hopefully find that out in the next few episodes because Oni seems like the type of person who would catch something like that. Although he's like
Yeah.
shot and
He's had a rough
stabbed right
time of
now.
it.
He's fucked up
Yeah.
right now. But
Yeah.
but yeah, that
Mm.
I want to know
Yeah.
that. Tell me.
Mm. Yeah. I had forgotten about that line because yeah, I think that was last week's episode. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
think so.
I'm
I think it was like right
curious.
at the end of last week.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll have to find out next week what's up with that. We'll watch episode 10.
What's up with that?
Yeah.
You, you sounded like Seinfeld for a second there.
Oh no.
Anime,
Oh,
what's up with that?
what's the deal with the anime?
Oh,
So yeah, anyway, next week on Shenanimegans,
we
you
binge
can,
watched all of Seinfeld season 1.
yeah, the one true anime.
I don't know how that song goes.
I have no idea.
I think that was
I've never
close.
seen Seinfeld. I have
I
no
think that was
idea.
close. Yeah, I don't know. There's just like a bass line, I think, to the opening. Like some
Yeah,
iconic bass line.
it's very iconic. You can tell because we both recognize it, right?
I tried my best. I might have been right. Someone can tell
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Yeah. You can catch us next week here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Sasam, SASAM, or you can catch us on YouTube if we ever get caught up on uploads at shenanigans.moe.
Don't call me out like this.
I have to get you to upload them.
It's the only way I do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And if you want to call Sasam out, you can join our Discord at shenanigans.moe/Discord, or catch us on Twitter at that lastly and at SasamBots. Yeah. Yeah, about does it for this week though.
Can I quickly advertise my new Tumblr I made?
Oh yeah. Advertise your
Yay.
Tumblr.
I made a DC fan Tumblr for
Oh.
all things DC. It's
Mhm.
Sasam DCU.
Cool.
Yeah, I just want to self-promote there for a second.
Hmm.
Well, I have the chance.
Yeah.
Anything you want to self-promote besides our Twitters and
Uh,
stuff, the regular?
no. I don't really have anything else to promote.
Go tweet GDQ to accept try.
Yeah. They'll never accept try. Yeah.
I
I've
believe
resigned myself to that fact.
I
But,
believe in you.
yeah.
I don't believe in the GDQ staff. I believe in you.
Yeah. I wouldn't believe in them either, to be honest.
Not
So,
now
yeah.
that they don't have religion.
Mm.
He didn't even do the game submission stuff. He was just like the one who was like open. Like he was the one who was like, yeah, we need more accountability and more openness. And that's why I was like,
Mm.
yes, thank you, religion. He's gone
Yeah.
now, so who knows if we'll ever
Oh.
hear anything again.
Yeah. So yeah. That'll do it for the podcast for this week.
Thank you very much for watching.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Take care, and please, please actually send me messages telling me to upload the videos because I'm not going to remember.
Yeah. I will try and remember this week. I've legitimately forgotten the past 2 weeks, so.
Alright, yeah. Alright, take care.
Bye.
Harass me, please.
Yeah.